weightlifting is so intense. Like if I were to try and explain it to someone who doesn't lift, it's almost like a penalty shootout, but like, you know, every single thing is just so high stakes.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if you're going to make it or not because there's nerves. Like, you know, you don't know what you're kind of showing up with on the day, and there's loads of kind of variables around it. So it is very, very nerve-wracking. And then I think being in such a high pressure environment like Commonwealth Games, there's a lot on it.
So how do you stay calm then? For example, when you're about to go and hit a very heavy weight and you've got all these people looking at you, coaches' eyes on you, nerves rushing through, having only done it for 2 years. How on earth did you handle that?
I think I had a lot of, I kind of put a lot of kind of strategies in place to make it as familiar as humanly possible. And it's kind of ironic because I felt so nervous leading up to it. So the 2 weeks building up to the games, and in terms of like beforehand, and then when I'm actually like in the village, so nervous, like struggled to eat, like just felt really, really, yeah, it's just a really, really, really nerve-wracking. But in a way, and I always say this, like I really do think this, like you're nervous because you care. And like how great is that you have something that you care so much about, that you feel so strongly. And I love that. I love getting to kind of feel the intensity of like that feeling, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I think for me, in terms of controlling that, when I was actually on the platform, I was like, oh, okay, great, we can relax now. This is the part that I know this bit now.
That's amazing. So you actually felt quite zen once you got up to the platform.
Yeah. I was like, oh, great. And I think it's like, it's the same, well, it's not, as in like there's different brands, but it's the same plates, it's the same bar. It's all just exactly the same as in the gym. It's just here. Like, and I think like if you allow yourself to, like, you can achieve whatever you want. Like that's what's in my mind. And I am very kind of structured in terms of the way that I approach things. So when I go out for a weightlifting competition, you go out at the start and they kind of say your name and you wave and it's really nice, but I'll pick something to look at. And I'll be like, oh, what is it? And I would pick like a chair that I was looking at. And so every single time I go out for a lift, I'd be like, oh, there's my chair. And like, so instead of thinking about like, oh my God, there's so many people and oh, this weight is really heavy and all of this sort of stuff, I'd be like, oh, it's my chair.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
And like, I'd look for it every single time. And it's just really, it's just really nice. I like that. And then what I would do is kind of stand or close my eyes and I'll visualize myself doing the lift in my head. And I'll be like, well, you've already done it now. You've done it. Like I've just seen it. You've done it. So you can go and do it now. Like I already like fully 100% believe that I can make it if I let myself. And so like, it's the letting yourself part and like, I don't know, parting ways with any sort of like doubt, because if you have any doubt,
you can't have any doubt.
Yeah, you can't. You won't throw yourself under something. Like it's a scary, like if you start to kind of actually think about what you're doing, it's like, whoa, is that a good idea? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's at your max, as in like at or above sometimes. So you have to go all in. And I think like I've had it in competition where I've missed and like been just hit so hard. Like I remember it was a clean and I just got hit so hard by this clean, just spat straight out. And I was like, just took a sec and was like, okay, right, like let's go, like this is it, now you have to show up. Like, and if you like, it's a choice now, you get to choose what you do. Like time will pass regardless, you'll go out on this like the platform, like this time will pass, it will happen. Like you get to choose if you show up now and the work that you've done in training, you show it on this platform right now, or you like let yourself believe that you can't do it.
You've clearly got a very, very strong mindset. It's very, very impressive.
Oh,
do you think that's a natural thing, or have you trained yourself to be like that for your weightlifting?
I think over time it's definitely something that I've kind of developed in just like so many different situations. Like, and I feel like I've like collected things from around me. Like when I've seen people do things, I'm like, do you know what, that's a really good idea. Like, and this is why I say being around good people, like the social side is amazing, but like people you can really learn from and that inspire you to be better, that's, I think it's so valuable. Like I think it's yeah, there's so many people that I've learned from, I'd say like over the years, like over like my whole life, if that makes sense, that I think there's almost like transferable skills that I would say show up on the platform.
Yeah.
But I did endurance sport before, and I was kind of, you know, there's, when you look at that objectively, it's like, in terms of transferability, it's like, yeah, do you know what? Like I wouldn't put 1 and 2. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly a power sport or anything like that. But I would say in terms of like grit and determination and learning positive self-talk, like you're not going to finish an Ironman if you're sat there hating yourself through it. Like you get very, very comfortable. Like I got very comfortable with my own thoughts and kind of almost being my own biggest supporter. And like I fully back myself, and like I think it's one of those things where I feel proud of myself. And it's nice.
A common thread that's coming from these conversations I'm having with people like yourself is that the self-talk is very, we can do this, very positive. There's absolutely no space for, oh, this is horrible, I can't get through it.
Yeah.
So that seems to be ringing true with you.
So important. Like I say this all the time. I think, you know, you can't hate yourself into being better. I think it's amazing to have big goals and big aspirations. And this isn't something that I've got right yet. I think it's a balance, because you can believe in yourself and believe that you can do things, but you also have to appreciate what you can do right now. And I think if you lose touch of either of those, it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a fine balance, because I think you have to be pushing for more, but you can't hate yourself into being better. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I think my approach is always very, very like positive, and also kind of like rooted in having fun. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, even like, you know, going onto like the platform at the games, like it's supposed to be fun. Like this is all just, it's being alive, and it's like you're supposed to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's like really, really important to me. And then I think what fun is something that I've had to sit with myself and be like, okay, what does fun mean to me? And fun doesn't mean like, sometimes it means like, you know, we're in the gym and like there's a great playlist on, I'm having a great time, like singing, kind of like laughing around, like, but sometimes it's being like really dialed in and like I'm having the best time. And if you looked at me, you probably wouldn't think I was. But this is like, I'm loving this. Like I'm living for this. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
That's really uplifting to hear, actually. And I think it's a really good thing for people to hear, because often people will push themselves through a really hard workout just because they feel like they need to punish themselves.
Yeah.
Or there's kind of more negative nuances to it, rather than the sort of positive, enjoying the sort of high intensity of just being dialed in, as you said. And also getting that moment of zen and calm and clarity just before you hit a big lift.
Yeah.
And that's all really positive, good stuff. It doesn't have to be just like hurting your body through an atrocious workout.
Yeah, 100%.
So we've talked a lot about the very positive side of weightlifting and everything that brings you. I'm going to move on to what's potentially a little bit of a tough question. I'd like to know if there's anything that weightlifting has taken from you. Or another way to phrase it is, are there any harsh truths about yourself that training has forced you to face?
You can't force yourself to believe in yourself, if that makes sense. And sometimes it'll be there and sometimes it won't. Because I've had times in competition, like I'm talking about, you know, positive self-talk. Sometimes things feel off and you kind of try and be the same that you would in like on the best, like your best day. But almost it's just not quite there. And, you know, you don't quite believe in yourself for some reason. And it's just a little bit harder. And I think it's like, that's been something that I've had to kind of accept, that, you know, not every single day is exactly the same and you're going to show up. Like I'm a very kind of logical, structured person. And so I almost like expect the best every single time. And that's not how that works. Like that's not how sport works. And that's the exciting side of it. but it's also the not so exciting side when you're kind of in a bit of a, not slump, but like things aren't going as well as you'd want. I think the way that I try to reframe it, like if I'm having a bad day or I'm missing, is I'm like, right, okay, what's the best you've got on a bad day? And it's almost like my bad day PBs.
That's a really good way of looking at it. What's the best you've got on a bad day?
Yeah. Because it's like if I'm in the gym and I'm like, this could be on the platform, like this could happen. So what have you got? Like, how are you going to show up right now? But also, I think one of the things that I have learned on the other side of that is that recently I've learned that rest and recovery is, and actually doing nothing is almost like not an art in itself. That sounds so silly, but like...
It doesn't sound silly, actually. That does, I think that summarises it quite nicely. Yeah, it's because people don't put enough importance to rest and recovery, do they?